Hello, beautiful souls. Victoria Amador here. And today I want to talk to you about the healing journey. This is something that I often hear with clients. So I want to address this because if you're going through deeper and deeper layers of the healing process, you may get frustrated sometimes because you think, oh my God, this is not working. So I want to explain how this happens and why it happens so that we have a clear understanding of what is happening inside of us when we are going through the healing journey, not only spiritually, but also at a physical level. This is very important, so make sure that you listen unto the end. When we deny or repress what we wish to avoid, the emotions, feelings, sensations, and experiences, information basically, emotions are emotions. This information, this data of the experience, the memory, the emotions, the sensations that we felt in a moment get stored in our body. And it crystallizes in our body, basically. So in our physiology, as we continue our inner energetic work and we've reached new levels of the energetic work, and we are experiencing relief, but at the same time, we keep being pulled back and forward, and it's this yo-yo. This is happening because the crystals that are stored in the body, that are like capsules that are containing the information of the emotions of the trap emotions and experiences that are stored in the body, because nothing disappears. All of that energy stays in our body. Those emotions that are encapsulated like crystals in our body, they start disintegrating. And when they start disintegrating and releasing, the packet of information of the emotions that are relevant to that experience, they're going to release. And that content that was hidden, so hidden in our subconscious and unconscious, comes with thoughts, feelings, experiences, and also physical toxicity. It comes with a level of toxins that are going to make us feel things because it's the energy is moving through the body. And sometimes if there are more layers there, you're going to feel like, oh my God, I just keep having this yo-yo. This is happening also. The amount of information of the thoughts, the feelings, sensations, depending how how hidden and strong and impactful to the person was, the more stronger they're going to be and the bigger they're going to be. So you might release layers, so like shaving off the layers, and you feel the release, and then you feel like, being pulled back because there's more there. So this is not a new concept. This is something that we have known in shamanic and spiritual ancestral practices for thousands and thousands of years. Science knows, I don't know since when, honestly, I don't have the data on that, but science knows that the body there is crystallization of emotions and thoughts in our body. And they believe, not only from the different ancient practices like Ayurveda, right? Or the Chinese Asian practices of working with the meridians, right? So they are ancient practices that are more acceptable to the scientific community because of the clear evidence that they can see and the research that has been done in alternative healing, to notice that these practices are very powerful and that they suggest that unresolved emotions and negative thoughts can manifest physically within the body. We know this for thousands of years. Science in the last 100 years, with 150 years, with a lot of the movement of the body-based research that is happening in the medical community, this is now pretty much well accepted. With somatic healing, the body keeps the scores with Dr. Bound Vessel, and so many other doctors that are speaking about this thing that the body is keeping all the information, all the memories stored within our body. So how how does the body stores the emotional energy, the emotional information? It stays, it's believed that it stays at an emotional level in the physiology of the body, in the tissues, in the organs, in the skin, in the nervous system, and goes up all the way up to the vagus nerve. This is something that a lot of people in the medical communities are talking about in shamanism and spiritual practices, ancestral spiritual practices. We may have different names for them, but it's the same thing. The body is sending information, and depending on the information that is being sent, the pineal gland can receive enough light in order for it to open up, because the pineal gland cannot open up without light. So the emotional memories in the body are going to prevent light from coming up to the pineal gland. And therefore, we are going to experience life with a within a false reality. So the body is storing the emotional experiences in the tissue, organs, skin, basically the nervous system. And if it is very traumatic or very intense, it's going to create chronic issues, chronic stress, chronic imprints in the body that eventually are going to manifest into disease, illnesses. So the different energy centers, right? Like if you go into traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurveda, we know that the body has a different energy centers, what we call the chakras, and the meridians, the nadis. So throughout the different energy centers, there are blockages that are disrupting the information of the light to go up the pathways. And because the emotions that are crystallized, they're heavy, they are going to call the attention of the energy and the crystal fluid that moves up to the brain in order for DMT and the release of the crystal fluid to happen in order for us to experience an altered state of being and see beyond the veil. To see beyond the veil is not about having mediumship gifts, but it's about experiencing life in its true reality, in abundance, in health, in happiness, in bliss, in acceptance, forgiveness, and so on. Just stay with me for a second. So I'm not necessarily speaking about opening the pineal gland to be supernatural. We are supernatural already. I mean, the fact that we can heal our own body is incredible, right? So these blockages in the different energy centers, when we have enough energy and we are doing things, if there are blockages in those centers, enough energy needs to be produced in order to push through those blockages. Unfortunately, if we don't do our healing work, we're not going to be able to move that just by merely doing just the physical. We have to go into the emotional, mental, and spiritual state, not just the physical. That's why people that exercise a lot, they still have problems, because it's not just about the physical, it's body, mind, spirit, and so on. So when we start working with the different energy centers and working on the emotional state, the mental state, the hidden beliefs that were created during the moments of the traumatic, intense experiences of the original faulty imprints, we are going to be able to work at a level that you probably haven't thought of before. And it is beautiful, powerful work. So the blockages are basically disrupting the pathway. They're interrupting the pathways, the light energy to move up from the root up to the crown, so that your body is going to experience this sense of tension in that area, and it's going to be like a wall, like a stop sign. So also, as we understand how the energy and how this crystallization happens of emotions and thoughts and experiences in our body, I want you to consider the physical manifestations, the tension, the constriction that happens when we have negative emotions, right? What do we do? When we're in fear, we do this. When we're in anger, we want to attack, and right, we everything tenses up. When you are tense, when you're in fear, you are not breathing. Breath is light. When we're not breathing and you're tense and in fear and angry and frustrated and sad, even when you're sad, you stop breathing. You're barely breathing, you're barely surviving in that moment. So the tension and the contrition in our body, the negative emotions of the fear, the anger, the hurt, the sadness, the hopelessness, is going to lead to physical tension. And the muscles are going to constrict. And the tissues and the organs, everything is contracting. And you're going to feel eventually chronic pain and a lot of stiffness. Because the more that is out of your consciousness, the more hidden it is. It becomes a shadow aspect, and it becomes so hidden from your consciousness that you don't even know it's there. So you do it naturally. Sometimes people might say, are you in pain? Because your face looks like you're in pain. You're constricting, you're really stiff, and you're so coming into your body, like bending over. So there is a lot happening internally when that is happening. There is also biochemical changes. The emotions and thoughts can affect the production of the stress hormones and like cortisol. So the neurotransmitters are not communicating properly to each other, and it's going to lead to confusion, and it's going to lead to stress because the body doesn't know what's going on. It's trying to figure out what's going on. So the biochemical reactions, the changes are going to influence very greatly what is happening with your physical health. Also, the crystallization process, as you go through understanding the energy centers, the emotional memory, and the way that it works in the body, and the tension and the contrition and the biochemical changes, the stress that is happening, so that you can even become addicted to the stress without even knowing. It's crazy. The way that our body works is that it gets used to feel safe when you're going through the stress because you become addicted to it. Sometimes people overcome the addiction of the drugs, alcohol, smoke, but they haven't realized that they're still addicted to the stress. The stress doesn't keep you in the present moment, it keeps you in the past, the future. And there is anxiety that comes with that. And the anxiety doesn't let you stay focused. It doesn't let you stay present because you're looking for the next high, and the next high is the stress. So you might be looking for the drama within your body or outside of your body in order to produce that in your body. So when the body is crystallizing the emotion, the thoughts, the experience in a way inside of you that becomes a crystal, like crystal energy within you, within your body structure. Even the DNA is responding according to the trauma, according to the crystallization because of the genes in us. I've spoken at a great length about ancestral healing and how the ancestors, the positive quality and the negative qualities can be passed down through the genes and are stored in the DNA codes. And depending on the environment, we may express those genes to come up online and alive. And the genes are telling the DNA, the proteins, how to behave, how to express and see themselves so that they become a reality. So when the crystallization of the emotions, the thoughts, the experiences is happening, it's becoming solid inside of your body. It's forming into a crystal. And it is not a pretty crystal, to be honest, because it's unresolved trauma that is hidden. And sometimes the trauma is from this life. It's definitely can be from the womb, because a lot of things happen in the womb, but it can also be from the spirit realm, past lives and other lives in other planets where your soul had experiences. So there is a lot that is happening that can make these crystals very, very tight. And the bigger, the tighter they are, they might feel like balls of energy. There is so much physiological impact because these crystals are basically disrupting the way that the DNA is expressing itself, so that the genes may be behaving in a way that is in alignment with the crystals that are holding the data, the information, the emotions, the energy, emotion stored in the crystals, the information, because information is also energy that is telling the crystals stay tight, because if we cannot handle you, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not going to be able to survive. I'm not going to be able to come back from this. So until we're ready to work on this really and know that it's time to work on it, we keep repressing it. Sometimes we're just very stubborn, and until we have a major breakdown, until we have a major situation, we don't start paying attention to it. So these crystals disrupt the normal physiological processes within our body, and it creates illnesses, disease, it creates pain, it creates chronic emotional stress that weaken the immune systems and make us feel like we are an open target for any type of illnesses that can come out. Sometimes we even take it from the family members because we are so weak that we are the next target for that disease, that illness. So releasing this crystal requires energy. It's going to require a lot of intention, because and attention and discipline to stick with it. Because the moment that the first layer comes out, more is going to come out and more is going to come out. So this is not a 2 months process. Normally, when these crystals are coming out, it's going to require you to be more serious about your healing journey and to really be attentive to yourself, to prioritize yourself. You know, you might want to do Reiki, meditation, acupuncture, and so many other things. But the way that I work with this is with not only breath work, but transpersonal hypnotherapy, going beyond the clinical. So beyond the clinical hypnotherapy, we have the inter and transpersonal hypnotherapy, where we are going beyond the body and mind. We're going into the soul and the spirit, and we're going into energy work, somatic body-based energy work that really allows for the energy to move through the body, for the blockages to be released in a way that we can then really experience deeper release and faster. Even though it's faster, doesn't mean that it's going to be overnight, though. I want that to be clear, because I think sometimes people have the wrong expectations. They think it's going to be overnight. Energy work takes patience, and this is why it takes patience, because if the emotions have been there for a lifetime, for many lifetimes, it's not going to be overnight. These crystals are hard like a rock, and we are going to opening up, softening up, and opening up until there's nothing there. But that takes patience. So the mind and body techniques, the energy work, the breath work, the transpersonal hypnotherapy, the past life regression, spirit releasement, energy releasement, the somatic healing, the understanding of other experiences and how they affect you. So there is so much happening in order for you to do the work that you need to do to release these things, these emotions. You know, you can also do yoga besides the transpersonal healing work. Yoga, Reiki, meditation, mindfulness, coaching, all of these things are going to help you become a better person and heal. The NLP, the breath work, the therapeutic protocols combined with the shamanic and spiritual healing come together, and we take this to the next level. We are working at a body, mind, soul, and spirit level to help you release and awaken, to bring the new aspects of who you want to be into the now. So a lot of work is being done within each and every session. There is scientific evidence how hypnotherapy helps compared to traditional therapy and some other therapies. Is like so much productive, because it's like Dr. Norm Healy, I love quoting him, because he says that just one past life regression is like equivalent to doing 18 months of traditional therapy. But this is beyond past life. the transpersonal healing work that I do is beyond past life, is body, mind, soul, and spirit. And we are releasing hidden beliefs, releasing hidden patterns and habits and sensations in your body. We're bringing it to consciousness, and we're bringing in the new beliefs, the new behaviors that we want, and we are bringing in the new version of who we choose to be. So there is a lot of neural biology happening here, and a lot of physiological healing happening here, a lot of release happening. And when the body and the nervous system is being released of these things, the body can communicate to the rest of the body and the brain and the vagus nerve that communicates with the rest of the body to let it know how it needs to communicate. And the neurons are then able to heal themselves. Science proves that the neurons can heal themselves, especially in the hippocampus, this part that has the part of the consciousness, so that we can be consciously a different person. There is a lot of neuroplasticity as well, because the brain ability, the brain has the ability to reorganize itself by forming new pathway, new neural connections that can explain to each other, oh my God, when I have this thought, this happening, and now this is the way that we are going to do this. And the brain is doing all of this at the same time while you're doing your healing sessions. This brain, this body is really magnificent. We have this is a powerful machine that we need to take advantage of. And when we combine it with the spiritual and the shamanic, we are working at another level. This is beautiful work. When we start releasing these crystals within our body, we start making interconnections within our body and our mind, and the pineal gland starts coming online. What I want to ensure that you understand is that as we face these negative energies, emotions, thoughts, belief systems, hidden habits that we have, these hidden experiences, these hidden shadow aspects, we start breaking down these energies within us. So when I say negative energies, I'm not referring to entities necessarily, although that could be part of the story, but I'm referring to those thoughts, emotions associated with those experiences, and those faulty beliefs, and those negative, hidden, limiting habits. We start to feel the urge to repress them again. And the reason why is because the crystals are dissolving, and it can feel overwhelming. So we may be tempted to start numbing them again, however you were doing that, whether it was through drugs, alcohol, sex, food, specific overly exercising, overly watching TV, carbs, sugar, alcohol, I don't know, whatever, stress, trauma, drama, multiplying that, right? So when we start releasing these crystals and they start dissolving within us, sometimes it's so overwhelming because it was so bad that we didn't realize that we're even there, that you may start feeling like, this is too much, I need to repress again. And you don't do this consciously, or sometimes it is. But I want you to know that this is why we have a small community. We want to be able to reach out. Hey, today's not a good day. Can somebody hold space for me? I just need 2 minutes to share my feelings. Just doing that is going to make a big difference. What you don't want to do is give in. And if you do give in, don't give in forever. Give in and get out. Don't punish yourself by repeating, because you're going to be probably, you might want to punish yourself by repeating the same thing that you just did, by having more cookies, by having more alcohol, by doing another cigarette. So start breathing, and come back to compassion. This is going to pass. It's going to pass. Come back to compassion. We have to be able to do that because the healing journey is one of the hardest things that you can do in this life. And if we continuously punish ourselves, we're not going to be able to release all of these crystals that have the data of the trauma, the emotions, the beliefs, the habits, all of those hidden parts of ourselves that we've repressed because they're so ugly that we didn't even want to see them. We need to get to the point where we really release them fully. But it's not going to be one session. It's going to take multiple sessions. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, and it's going to take patience. Don't give up. Don't give up just because you've been doing this for a month and you feel like, oh my God, it's been so long. Some people have to do this for many months or a year or two or more, depending on how much trauma you had to endure. So being able to be okay with knowing that it's not going to be perfect immediately is crucial in order for us to really work through the releasement of these crystals encapsulated within you.